Well, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, more?
Master Azai betrayed us, and now we're gonna have to rescue Dozan, who's been kidnapped. But I have some good news.
Okay.
We have a cardboard box! Ladies and gentlemen, we have confirmed sighting of a cardboard box!
Oh, I'm just so happy.
You can hide anywhere, anytime by squeezing into this cardboard box. It may seem crude, but surprisingly effective. I guess people just always expect there to be boxes lying around everywhere.
How right you are, Aura.
Oh.
So, the cardboard box counts as a distraction item. We're also gonna get an upgrade for the Hisamu dart.
A more potent poison will stop the target just seconds after they're struck.
Now, unfortunately, Aura's description doesn't really do justice for the Hisamu dart. We'll be seeing how it works a little later. So, of course, we'll be grabbing the box, and we'll be checking out our new Hisamu dart.
Before the restoration, as the other clans strayed and disbanded, a merchant sold us a secret. He led us to a flower whose petals burned with toxin.
Dosan's trail leads here, the source of the ink in your marks. If Azai has a secret, it's in there.
Oh, he has many secrets. You probably don't want to know all of them, though.
Clear his browser history.
Well, that's the real secret is that he still uses Netscape. So this level has lots of traps,
These bandits are tricky and ruthless.
and they're the bad
Watch out for
kind.
traps. And whatever you do, don't get caught. They'll torture you for days and let the insects finish you off.
Well, thankfully, you can use the Farsight ability to see all the marks clearly outlined in red. But thanks to the,
Everything that's gonna hurt you.
thanks to the layout, you can still kind of see it. Also, don't walk into the explosives when you disable them. They can still hurt you pretty bad. So this level is kind of love it or hate it for most players. For me, this is probably my favorite level in the game.
So far, it's very different.
It's kind of ominous that Aura shows up as red when you use Farsight.
These
I'm sure that
bandits
doesn't
are
mean
tricky and
anything.
ruthless. Watch out for traps. And whatever you do, don't get caught.
So as I showed off before, you can use the bamboo darts to it won't disable the explosives, but it'll make them less dangerous. You can't do it on those cars though. And of course, the rickety grappling points from the catacomb levels are back.
And now we have rickety ledges.
Yep. So here's an artifact down here. And, of course, these Tabrizian bandits have other traps waiting for us. We're gonna sneak under that. Of course, if you haven't figured out that traps can be disabled that way, the game sort of teaches you there.
The wood is rotting. The stone is crumbling. Does anyone still live out here?
Well, yes and no.
This is really cool. Like, this is kind of a departure from the other levels, but it's really well done.
Alright, so we're going to be using our terror dart here to cause this guard to fall off the ledge. And guards can also be killed from explosives. We're going to be having a lot of fun with that in this level. There's another artifact up here, guarded by two explosives, rather. Having to hang from a ledge there and then drop down is always really precarious when you got the explosives running around.
They put some thought into this.
Alright, so here's how the cardboard box works. Basically, it works under pretty traditional Metal Gear rules, where as long as you're standing still and not moving, and you have the box equipped, they really won't notice you, even if they walk right past you. And of course, enemies enemies will be killed if the regular explosives, like if they're just still like they're they're still suspended in midair. Enemies won't trigger the explosives, but they will if you hit them with the dart. So they just patrol past normally.
Gotcha.
You have to basically set up the trap. So this area also has a couple of other different types of traps that are around here. No, we're not going there. We're better than that. We're not going to make those jokes. We'll leave that for the comments. So there's you know all sorts of different traps. Most of those other traps with the chains either are like instant kill knives or they're just chains to basically they're just chains to make a lot of noise and attract guards over to you. Of course, there's this little area testing you on your ability to make quick jumps and to neutralize the explosives. Over here, we're going to have our first Hisabu scroll. Now, the scrolls in this area are not haikus because they are written by a Zai, as opposed to that hungry historian from earlier. Also, bodies are really handy for setting off traps without you having to actually physically face them.
Just kind of chuck a dude into it.
Also, if you get a body, you can use the body to trigger the explosions. Just having a body around is pretty handy.
My confession.
This had better be good.
A voice in my ear gives excuses in the tongue I do not speak. It is hot, and I am sinking.
Oh, wait. Sorry, that was part of my fan fiction. Excuse me. This is my real confession.
You spotted at the edge of town, just like a ninja. He must have come here for the old man. And now he'll share his grave.
So yeah, just in case you haven't figured out that they've got Dozan, now it's made explicitly clear. So we're going to lure these guys over here, and we're going to show off how the new Terror Dart works.
He'll be back.
Yeah, these guys they're not necessarily smarter than the other enemies, but they have dialogue that make it seem like they're smarter. Like, they'll make more explicit references to you, and to make it seem like they know where you are.
Sure, so they're still just simple patrols.
So now, when the Hisabu darts, the terror darts run out, enemies will kill themselves. That also happens. That also happens with the dogs and the elite enemies as well. They just sort of, I don't know, like break their own necks, I guess, because they don't have it. They don't have guns.
Huh.
The half-dead rat hasn't broken yet. But give it time. He'll give me the tattoos. Not if I break him first.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We broke you first.
And the really strange thing is that if you take a dead body and like put it onto spikes here, it never counts as hiding the body, even though it's in a place that's impossible for other guards to get. It's kind of strange.
Oh, Dozan.
I told them my safe word at least 7 times and they wouldn't listen.
I used to be good for this kinky shit.
The bandits seized me. They tried to make me give them the marks. I refused.
I gave them Steve's instead, but not you. You're the only Steve I'd keep.
You must save me. Find the key to unlock these chains, and find the tools they stole from me.
So I find this is really oppressive. So if you try to free Dozan before you have the keys, this happens.
You can't cut the chains. You must find the keys.
But not only that, they have multiple takes of this line.
You can't cut the chains. You must find
Oh, wow.
They have at least 5 or 6 takes, and they kept all of them in.
the chains. You can't cut them. You must get the keys. Listen to me. You can't cut the chains. Oh, not the chains. Listen to me. You must find the keys.
I don't know why I'm so impressed by that, but I am.
Steve's just like, sorry, can't hear you, crazy with tattoos.
Are you sure that I'm the one who needs the hearing aid, you son of a bitch? Alright, so we're gonna lure another guard over here. With, just show it a little bit. So, remember before I said how there was, like, weird homing properties with Bat's Prey? Watch this next enemy. So this next enemy is gonna see the body that I just had here. Now pay attention.
One has fallen.
Yoink!
Huh.
Yeah, so I started Bat's Prey, and by God, the game's gonna have me finish it. Doesn't matter.
You just magically track. Physics be damned.
He got someone.
So, basically I'm allowed to get this kill because the enemies prioritized the body on the left. Basically ran past me while I was in the cardboard box. So basically the cardboard box is treated as a mobile hiding spot, as it is in any of the MSX Metal Gears, essentially. Compare it to, say, like the 3 Metal Gear Solids, where enemies will investigate a box when they walk past it. It doesn't work that way, because obviously that would be kind of broken in 2D.
Yeah.
So it works more like the Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So we're gonna take this body with us. He's our new buddy.
I heard something.
That enemy will pretty much always hear that trap. Now, I initially had a plan here, but it turns out I accidentally killed that other guard with the explosive, so, hey, it turned out better for me anyway.
It all works out.
Yes, all according to Keikaku. And we've got our challenge room for this level over here.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is a pretty good one. It's a little frustrating when I first started playing it, but once you know what to do, it's actually pretty fun. So you see that lever next to the scroll, don't push it, because it's a trap, at least at the start here. So don't pull that lever yet. Don't pull that lever yet. Instead, you want to go over here. Pull this lever to start. That causes a chain reaction with these explosives over here. And you want to go up to here. This lever is going to cause spikes to come up here and detonate the explosives. Now, this is a 1.0 exclusive glitch where one of the explosions will take a while to detonate. And you want to be careful with these knives, because that trap will always come across here. And now you hit the switch, and that will block the passage for those knives. And then it's safe to hit that lever at the bottom. And there you go. There's the scroll.
I would call that one tough but fair.
Yeah. It's also kind of hard to tell, but there's a timer.
Inside the fortress, I kneel. The blade in my hand shakes. I hold it to my chest, where the shame chokes me. I crave relief, but I force myself to drop the blade.
And then I think to myself, why did I ever decide to become a surgeon? So now that we have the cardboard box, we could do even more, dropped body terrorizing shenanigans. Since we could actually sort of cancel the last part of the body throwing animation with the by just using the cardboard box. You'll also notice that the cardboard box has ammo. That's because if you're caught and you're wearing the box, just like in Metal Gear Solid and later games, the box can be destroyed. Also, that switch,
which makes sense.
That switch will cause spikes to come out. That's pretty much like a beginner's trap that everyone falls into, including me when I first played this back in 2012. Everyone will die to that. So there's two different paths. You probably don't want to go on this path on your first playthrough of this level. Not until we get a move that we can learn later on. So the best way to go through this area is to not hit that switch over there, and instead jump over it and trigger the other two traps on the other side.
Sumi is usually kept underground, in an airtight chamber. A chamber just like this one.
So, for retrieving the Sumi, we're actually going to go with the Path of Nightmares. We're going to grab this upgrade.
This flare gives off a blinding flash that will stun any guard who's wearing high-tech goggles. The dancing light that remains will lure anyone who happens to see it.
To be honest, the distraction flare sounds cool, but to be honest, I really don't find it that useful. Like, I've already recorded all the footage for this LP by the time that we've recorded this, and to be honest, I don't think I even use it at all. I didn't find it that useful. It sounds cooler than it actually is. So, anyway, we're gonna take this guy and use his body. My original plan for this was to try and kill him with the exploding pot, which I did manage in a couple of takes, but it just in the takes where I got it didn't really work out. So anyway, using Path of Nightmares is great on this level, or in this particular section of the level, because you can get guys just trapped in an endless cycle of terror just by placing a body in that specific section. Because all of the enemies will eventually be funneled down there as soon as one guy gets terrorized, which will allow you to drop down and grab the Sumi.
Some say these grown men are still peeing their pants beneath the desert today.
Those who have lived to tell the tale, anyway. And there you go, that's another seal. We're recovering the Sumi without taking any damage. Pretty simple.
Here, move it.
It just never ends with these guys.
We could be here for a while. Did Steve pack a Snickers?
I think he went with a Kit Kat. I think that's the official snack of the Azai clan.
Because he's about to break him off a piece.
Because it reminds him to take a break on occasion. Once again, we have two different paths. Originally, the path on the bottom is considerably harder. You'd think there'd be a reward down there, like an artifact or something, but nope. Even though it's way harder down there.
Just a boatload of spikes.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is in there. I think there's like a knife trap or something down there. If you take the bottom path. Anyway, there's a guard over there who's really precariously placed. This is like the one section of the level that I think has like really awful enemy placements, and thankfully it's only for that one enemy.
That must be the jailer. Who knows what he did to Dasan to try to make him cooperate.
Alright, so this seal is really oddly worded because we're supposed to get the keys without using any items. You know what counts as an item? Using the grappling hook, which you wouldn't think it counts as an item because it's like a separate button press. That's not part of the D-pad. So I've stuck with Path of Nightmares for this because, again, you know, terrorizing guards is a great way to just clear the room without using items and get all the guards to either shoot each other or get into better patrol patterns. And of course, Bat's Prey is also a great way to deal with enemies.
Yeah, the area seems conveniently designed for that.
Of course, one thing I didn't anticipate is that the pickpocketing guard himself would be terrorized, which means that that kind of slowed down this area a little bit. Because I had to wait for him to patrol, and I also had to, you know, consider the idea that he may also be terrorized by pretty much any other body that he would see on the ground, which would also further slow things down. But it worked out in the end. So yeah, it's like I said before, the grappling hook counts as an item against the seal.
That doesn't seem fair at this point. But
it's more that you wouldn't think of the grappling hook as a traditional item in that sense, in the same way that you would of like a bamboo dart or, you know, the attack darts or a cardboard box. Anyway, this area is pretty precarious. You got the sleeping dogs. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention. Now that we've actually encountered the sleeping dogs, that's actually a little joke that the developers put in. So, Clay Entertainment were working on this game, you know, in 2011 and 2012. At the same time as this game was being developed, United Front Games were working on Sleeping Dogs, pretty much, and their offices were pretty much like across the street.
In the greenhouse, in the bed.
I gotta wait until after this.
Huh.
I check them all and find just one petal left. A fly chews it. I crush the insect with my fingers and feel childish.
So United Front Games, who were working on Sleeping Dogs, their offices were pretty much like across the street from where Clay was working on Mark of the Ninja. So they already had, you know, regular patrolling dog enemies at this point. And so Clay decided to add some sleepy dog enemies as, like, you know, a little shout out and a little in-joke to United Front Games.
Tools are up there. I guess they were still hoping
That was nice of them.
to use them.
Hopefully I don't have to cut out too much of that in order to be able to listen to the Azai's little audio log there. So normally you're supposed to use the block to avoid the knife trap, but I'm too cool for that.
We're gonna do this the quick way, folks.
Yeah. Also, using that particular entrance is great in order to get this seal. And of course, you can drop that particular body right in the middle of the guard patrol.
You cannot hide.
This level is a tight loop of just scaring the shit out of people.
Of course, I temporarily forgot that there would be a chance that I would get shot there. Oops. Yeah, Path of Nightmares does not have great HP compared to some of the other costumes you can get. And of course, there's a, yeah, I had to settle for an imperfect kill there, unfortunately. There's another artifact on the bottom. I think that explosion detonated on the body on the bottom, if I remember correctly.
It looked like it, yeah.
Okay, so here's an alternate take. This is one of the few instances where I actually used the slide kick, and I also left that in because I thought that death was funny. So, in order to get this artifact, I deliberately bounced the dart off of his shield so that he'd be distracted and then I could sort of sneak the artifact past him.
Nothing.
I just have to wait for him to go back so I can sneak attack on him. Brief Shadow is such a great upgrade. I have, one of the videos that I was using for reference is a no upgrade 100% run of this game. 100%.
Oh, that's got to be brutal.
100%, and it was a speed run as well. Well, 100% in this case being 100% like with all the Hisamu scrolls and artifacts.
Durable Kote
Okay.
sleeves will provide extra protection without getting in the way of your sword.
So yeah, this is the standard HP upgrade. And we can get another one later. So we're gonna go with Path of the Hunter. And Spike Mine and Ravenous Insects.
Spike mines.
Yeah, Spike Mines and Ravenous Insects. Two
My
attack
favorite
items we haven't
little
seen
bugs.
much of recently. So we're just gonna
Yank.
grab this, use the Ravenous Insect. Oh, it's been a while since I recorded this much. Oh yeah, I think I dropped a Spike Mine over there.
Looked like it, yeah.
This is a process of rediscovery, really.
Why don't I hear screams?
It's a really long, really complicated level. There's a lot going on here.
I'll be back.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, one of the ways that the developers kind of trick you into thinking that the AI is smarter or has become smarter than it is compared to previous levels in the game is that the AI, the dialogue for the bandits alludes to the ninja's presence at all times. Their pathing and their actual behaviors don't change at all, but it's just merely what they say. They actually acknowledge Steve's presence in a way that previous enemies would only do if you get caught or if you did specific actions where you would be seen or where they would have reason to see you.
It kind of puts you on edge a little.
Yeah. There's another enemy type much later that does that even better than these guys do, but it's all in the Smoke and Mirrors aesthetic, which I think it does a really good job of alluding to that. Oh hey, look, it's our smoke break guard. You gotta have one of those per level.
We filled our quota.
Better try vaping next time. Oh wait, you can't. You're dead. Oh yeah, here I'm demonstrating that if you fall from a certain height, you'll break your fall and go into a roll. Oh, I demonstrate that at some point, but not yet. All right, here we go. The next big twist.
Flowers have been dead a year.
What?
As I knew about it. He must have. You must stop Azai. And that means I must give you the last mark.
Dun dun dun.
We're out of tattooing, so here, let me give you this one last tattoo. That makes complete sense.
With a Sharpie.
Here, it's this little winking emoji emoticon.
I'm gonna have to switch to Bazooka Joe tattoos.
Here, what does the latest Garfield say? Right, you have achieved the mark of lasagna.
They never give tattoos in Family Circus. That's such a wholesome comic. Oh God, my hip!
Okay, so next episode, we're gonna be playing the DLC level, and it's gonna be with young Dozon. So we're gonna be getting lots of use of the Dozon voice out of that one.